These are cat treats. These cat treats, which are these are like $4.50, and I have been giving these treats to the cat for about year and a half, 2 years. And you know, I've had as things have gotten more expensive, I've had to I only give her a half a can, so I get 2 days out of each can, and I give her a half a cup of dry. And you've seen her, she's kind of a chunky cat, so she's not suffering. Anyway, and I'm just mentioning this because this is how, if you really watch sales and Prime Day and all those specials, I got these for $6 each. Look at how many ounces? What is it, 30 ounce? And this is, I can't see it without my glasses. 3 ounce. That's 3 ounces for about $4.50. And I got 30 ounces for about $6 a piece. So this cat has enough treats to last a year or more. Okay, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I feel better than I did yesterday. So I am gonna sit in my shop with the air conditioner on and the fan going until I feel like doing something. If nothing else, you know, I'll clean and tidy. I still don't feel like I have the strength to sand, and I'm not gonna go into detail, but when you get a little older and you have, I don't know what we had. I think it was, you know, like a bug, because Beverly had it, and then my wife had it, and then I had it. So it's definitely bug related. And I'm on my second day, and it took them 2 or 3 days to get over it and then feel better. All right. Alrighty, so what do you want to talk about? Boy, I tell you, this is one amazing chair. There's something hypnotic about it. When you get in it, it automatically wants to make you take a nap. Okay, give me just a second. All right, I'm gonna drink a Coke and sit here for a minute. Oh yeah, I found this paring knife in a drawer here, and it's cheap, you can tell, but I put my diamond sharpener on it, and I'm just gonna take it home to see how sharp it is, basically. Okay, see you in a bit. My wife is, I say she's on stick patrol. Her and I have very different views on sticks. She does not like to mow over sticks, and me, if it will fit up underneath the mower deck, I'm mowing over them. Anyway, that's not what I'm here to say. I feel a little bit better. I have a little bit more strength. I have been sanding this with 150, and it's just not, I'm having to sand too much. That's all I've got done with 150 and this, and the other side is not touched at all. So I'm having to resort to the big guns. I went to 120, which is the lowest grit that I have, and so I think I can have the grind line sanded out, and I don't know, I'm probably going to sand this up to 400 and heat treat it, and then I'm going to put the handles on it and then go out and beat the hell out of it. Chop trees down, cut limbs, that kind of thing, just because. Alrighty, and I'm not going to heat treat this until I get my Parks 50 quenching oil. And the guy, see, it's the same thing with that sandpaper. I was a little leery about that sandpaper. Remember, what was it? 180. The VSM, Intex VSM that I found everybody else wanted 60 bucks for 50, and I found 50 sheets for, I think it was 12 bucks, and that included shipping. And you just gotta look, just like my cat treats, and just like the Parks 50. And that guy had 3 gallons, that's all he had, and I bought all 3 gallons, so I was very lucky. And you know, some people spend a lot of time on Facebook. I spend a lot of time on Amazon looking for that one deal. And I have done business with eBay, and I don't know why, but I just don't feel right about eBay. I've had one bad experience, and it was such a dishonest experience. It was a Sunday, and I accidentally ordered 2 of something. And I immediately realized that I'd done that when I saw the total. So I went and I canceled my order, and it said unable to cancel because we've already shipped it, which you know is complete BS. So I sent the guy an email saying that I accidentally ordered 2 of this item. Now this was all happening on Sunday in the United States, and we all know nothing, nobody, anywhere ships on Sunday. So I sent them an email, and he sent me an email back saying, sorry, that's already being processed for shipping. I said, how is that possible? It's been like 20 minutes since I pressed the order button, 2 minutes since I realized that I ordered 2 instead of 1, and now it's not that I don't want it, it's that I only want 1 instead of 2. And he said, sorry, that's, you'll have to return 1. So I contacted eBay and told them the whole story, and they said, well, sorry about that. So when I got both of them, I returned them both, and it cost me the shipping, and I got my money back. But so that was the very bad, and it's left eBay's left a bad taste in my mouth. So where was I going with this? Okay, I had to go back to 120. I'm going to start sanding. He's happy we're in here. I don't know why. He likes being in here because none of the other dogs bother him. He can nap. As long as I'm here sanding, he's content to nap and look out the window. And yeah, look at that. Slowly going to sleep. Me too. All right, let's sand. Okay, two more things I want to say before I forget. I have experimented, so much with sandpaper, and I've settled on one brand of sandpaper for pretty much 99% of what I do. And I have some sandpaper left over from stuff that didn't work, and this is some of it for my metal. Now I have different sandpaper for my wood because it's totally, of course, it's used for different stuff. This is the worst stuff I've ever had, and its brand is Deer Foss. Deer Foss. And 1 or 2 strokes with a sandpaper and it's dull. And the stuff that I have settled on, and this is through many 6 or 7 years of trial and error, and it turns out it's what pretty much 70% of all the other knife makers who have done the experimentation that I've done, trying to find what works best, all come to the same conclusion. I don't know what the difference is, but there's a difference. And what I use is the Indasa Rhino Wet. Let me see if I got a sheet that's not been cut yet. Yeah. Indasa is the name of the company, right here. Redline Rhino Wet. And I'm telling you the difference between that sandpaper, which all this in the white, every bit of it, is Indasa Redline Rhino Wet. And I won't complicate it. I have some other brands for the wood sandpaper. Honestly, there's only one grit that I have settled on being the best, and that's that VSM Vitex. But for metal, there's no better sandpaper than Indasa Redline Rhino Wet. It is expensive, but it's so much worth it. Where I go through, a dozen sheets for a small area, I would use 2 or 3 of the Indasa. But this is the last of that, and I'm just trying to use it up and get rid of it. And this is all I've got sanded in just, in 20 minutes with that sandpaper. I'm going to keep at it. And like I say, I'll probably use that up on this knife. And it's the last of it. And now that I've made all my mistakes, I won't be making them anymore. Okay, I started sanding, and I know we all have our problems, but I don't get sick very often. And I'm not one of them that could just sit around and nap and all that. If I'm going to be miserable and feel bad, then I can be miserable and feel bad here just as well as I can at home. So even if I'm not doing it, at least I'm around stuff I like, you know what I mean? And my wife, she comes out here. That's her chair. She comes out here and sits. When she gets hot, she comes out here and drinks a bottle of water and sits. So we visit throughout the day. All right, back to sanding, everybody. One last thing before I go back to sanding. Just because we disagree, our views are different, doesn't mean I don't love you. I just want to say that. I have a sister that puts up things that are very disconcerting for me. Anti-Christian related stuff, anti-gun related stuff. But she does that on her Facebook page, and I say nothing because that's her opinion. And I love my sister. And if you put something on your Facebook page and it's totally opposite of my views, doesn't mean I don't like you or love you. It means that we simply differ in our opinions. The difference is, I have a right to my opinion on my Facebook page. You have a right to your opinion on your Facebook page. And where I think the lines get crossed is where you think that you can come to my Facebook page and argue with my opinion. And you can't. Never are you invited to argue with my opinion on my Facebook page. You are invited to put your opposite opinion on your Facebook page. And clearly, I'm the only one that feels like this. So I'm done with Facebook besides my knife pictures. And, there's a lot of people I disagree with, but I love them. And that's just the way it is. Now, I'm not going to talk anymore about it, but I've thought about it since yesterday when I put that video up. I've thought about it some more. And that's the bottom line. When we're 6 feet under, when our life here is done, our petty little differences mean absolutely nothing when the worms are crawling through your skull. So the bottom line is, I love people who disagree with me, even if they disagree with me. I don't want people to come to my personal Facebook page and argue with me. And since it seems as though that is Facebook's intended purpose, I'm going to stop putting my personal opinions on my Facebook page and just put my pictures of my knives up there. And, cute pictures of my dogs. Who can argue with that? Okay, bye. Oh, Lord, a lot has happened since my last clip. I did get this turned over, and I'm just now starting. I'm telling you, this truly is the crappiest sandpaper of all. I mean, it's almost not even worth finishing up this last little bit. It's so time consuming. So anyway, we had, my God, buckets and buckets and buckets of tomatoes and cucumbers. And, I'm only one person. I can only eat so many. So my wife put a little ad on Facebook, giving them away for free. And we said we would sit up at the end of our road Highway 9 North in Abney. And that was exactly it. Free tomatoes at the corner of Abney and 9. And several people showed up. We gave them all to the first person, and she was very nice. And the second person was nice, and the third person was nice. All these are Facebook people. And I was not expecting pleasant people to show up because I've had such, bad experience with our local Facebook group here. But I guess when you're giving away free stuff, people are a lot more likely to be nice to you. So anyway, my wife went up there on the lawnmower, and I didn't want her sitting up there by herself with who knows coming up and talking to her, bothering her, trying to steal the lawnmower, whatever. So I went up with a pickup truck and I sat up there with her until somebody came and got all the tomatoes. So there are nice people in this town, just not on Facebook. And I realized while I was sitting up there, I was thinking, the cat, one day she come over and she rubbed her head up on my hand, and I was thinking, oh wow, we just made huge progress. And then the next day I put my hand up there and she hissed and she popped me and claws and made me bleed and everything. And I just don't get cats. But that serenity prayer, God grant me the serenity or the wisdom to know those that I cannot change, and help me accept them. So that's what I'm looking at now. I don't think the cat is ever going to be a lap buddy. I mean, I wasn't being unrealistic, but I did hope that she would at least trust me enough to maybe come in the trailer where she could live in the winter. But she's lived 10 years underneath this, and I guess she has just figured out how to be comfortable, and I'm just gonna feed her every day, and one day I'll smell rotting flesh and I'll know that the cat is gone. Because she lives right up underneath the trailer. I've told you this before, but she eats. This is the corner. There's a shelf beside the shop outside there, right? That's where I feed her. And she hangs around on the roof here, and the mobile home roof comes out over this just a little bit, about a foot, so she kind of stays up under there. And then when I go up and feed her, she comes down to the edge and she meows. And anyway, and then she goes underneath this. There's a walkway. I'll show you. This is a wood elevated portion. That's the edge of the mobile home there. She goes up underneath here and up underneath the mobile home, and she stays on that end. Or sometimes I see her when it's cold, I see her on that end. I have cut holes underneath there to let air flow, and then I put chicken wire over it. So sometimes I'll see her on that end sitting in the sunshine underneath the trailer though. Anyway, I'm okay with her never being my buddy. I'll just keep feeding her until she's no longer with us. This is her home, and she actually lived here before me. So alrighty, I'm gonna drink my coffee and use up the rest of that crappy sandpaper on this. Well, this is a perfect example of how cheap sandpaper, or not cheap price-wise, but sandpaper that just is not up to the job of sanding steel. This is a perfect example of how much time you can waste trying to get sandpaper to do a job it's not able to do. All right, I'm on the second side, and I've got it sanded all the way up to here, right here. And I still got half a knife inside this. So here, I'll show you. I got a long way to go. I mean, it's okay. Well, not half a knife. Okay, we're on. So, I got probably 5 or 6 inches plus the ricasso and all that to sand. And good Lord, this has taken me probably an actual sanding, because I had to stop and go do a couple things. Probably 4.5 hours of actual sanding, and I feel like I've gotten nowhere. And this sandpaper is a complete waste of a person's time. If I was charging for my time, I'd have thrown this away and just started with my expensive sandpaper. And, you know, I'd have been done with this long ago and probably been at 220 or 320 by now. But I'm not. And my hands, I just cannot take anymore. So it's like 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My wife cooked some chicken in the air fryer yesterday. So I am calling it a day, and I'm going to go home and eat me some chicken. What about you, Breezy? Are you a hungry boy? Are you hungry? You ready to go home? Let's go home. See you tomorrow.
Even the squirrels won't come and eat with them coons there. Coons are so aggressive.
Come up and what's sitting on my bed, laying on my bed, taking up my space?